Right, so from 3-1 to 3-all, anyone's match now. The first of 5 to play Liu Hao Shan in round 3 here at the World Open on day 2. Judd Trump has just moved 4-1 in front of Sanderson Lam on table 2, a match you can watch, of course, on Discovery Plus. Another very tight frame where Sanderson Lam was looking good to close to 3-2, and Trump has stepped in to deny him. Trump having won the second frame of that match on the final black, an excellent thin cut from long range. Neil Robertson 2-1 up on Tian Peng Fei. Jordan Brown 3-1 up on Chris Wakelin. Chow Yu-peng is going well against Noppon Sankam, 4-1 up. Matthew Stevens and Ryan Day tied at 2 frames apiece. And the other match in this session, in which, of course, 8 tables are in use, He Guozhang leading Wang Jingbo, the Chinese wildcard, the teenager, by 2 frames to 1.
Fairly basic run into the bunch there. Very interesting at 3-all whether O'Sullivan is going to find the extra gear that he might need, you know, over his long playing career. And in fact, all the great players, you know, when tested in a situation like this, will find their better form. Is today going to be another one of those days? It's a little lackluster. Yes, he made a couple of centuries, but it's not really a reflection of how he has looked in these half a dozen frames, quite honestly. Mistakes have been made by O'Sullivan, of course, and Michael White. But the latter just gaining in some confidence, I think.
He's actually knocked in a couple of good reds, not dissimilar to that, on the other side of the table from distance. That one was caught way too thick, though, by Michael White. And he has left this red for O'Sullivan. Looking just to re-establish himself, having lost the last 2 frames. 1 or 2 errors that clearly have irked him. And he knows that White's a dangerous opponent. Yes, he's always held sway over him in the past, but he knows what White's capable of, so there's certainly jeopardy now for O'Sullivan in this match that didn't seem likely at the midway point. The gulf between this pair in terms of success this season is vast. Michael White has earned just 35,000 on the table in this campaign to date. O'Sullivan in excess of 1.1 million.
12.
But that isn't reflected in the scoreboard at the moment.
Yes, I mean, it's been a There's only been a few players earning the real big money this season. Of course, O'Sullivan is one, and Judd Trump another, Zhang Anda, Mark Allen. They're the big winners, almost to the exclusion of everyone else. Gary Wilson, of course, has won the Scottish again. But generally speaking, it's been all about a few players that have done so well.
$21.
Will he go into the bunch here? He could play up the table if he wanted to, but the chance to go into them is there. Yeah, I mean, he really gets some extra zip on that cue ball when he plays that shot. Invariably, he'll land on one, and he has.
28. $29.
Gary Wilson not here this week because he didn't qualify, but he has won
36.
a couple of ranking events this season. So, as I say, it's been a few players which have lifted all the trophies. That's why there's such a disparity between the players at the top and the ones a little further down. O'Sullivan's not quite in that form today that's won him all this money and all these events. But if he gets through a course, he can build on it. Not sure if both reds go. He's having a close look at the left-hand red, but the other one he's on anyway.
45. $51. $52. $56.
Yes, the cannon didn't quite work. He lost the cue ball. I think he thought he hit more of the second red there. Lovely recovery shot though. Beautiful touch there. Very easy to see that cue ball drift into the bulk area.
64.
Unless you get the right amount of backspin on. Delicate shot on the black.
64.
So I asked the question, not that it needed asking really with this man, but could he raise his game? And he has done, because he's won this frame. And all of a sudden, it looks a little bit more
72.
like he's back to business. The way that he's won it, he was freewheeling through the early frames, but he isn't now.
Very much so. He feels really dialed in. I think conscious of the fact that suddenly this match had become potentially uncomfortable for him for a position of strength. But he really has been
80.
very focused in this break. One or two errors have proved costly out of the blue, really, for O'Sullivan today, but he's been sharp as a tack at this visit. Back in front and within one of victory.
Yeah, it might not be a century though, unless he can produce a bit of magic here. I'm not sure where the next red's coming from, quite honestly. Shame that. Cannon was not easy to ensure he'd be on something. Maybe he's going to try and pop the red close to the pocket for two cushions. Not to be.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 87.
No third century, but that was arguably the best break that O'Sullivan has made